right. Tuesday, May 20th. Just going to do some free speaking, just going to talk, just going to express. I don't know what I'm going to say yet. I don't know what words are going to come out of my mouth. I don't know what topic I'm going to talk on. I'm just going to express myself. I'm just going to flow. I'm just going to get the words going. It's like free writing, but it's free expressing. I don't even need these earbuds in. I don't even know why I have them in. It's just habit. I'm just going to talk and express and find out what happens. In fact, I'm going to put these earbuds back in. I somehow like that. It's comforting. It's comforting to have the earbuds in. I usually do this. I'm talking on Zoom. So I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm going to close my eyes for a minute, just rock back and forth and just kind of try to get into the flow. Just get into the flow of expressing myself, of expressing words, of expressing emotion and energy, and try to tap into that flow of free soul expression, whatever that means. What is that soul? What is what lights us up? The soul is really what moves us, what gets us out of bed in the morning. Now, maybe you get out of the morning because you have to pee. That's what I do. Or maybe you also get out of bed in the morning because something moves you. The life force energy within us is always moving. It's always changing. It's always moving us in this direction or that. It's always moving through our bodies as oxygen, as energy, as blood, as nutrients. And as we move through life, we're moving more and more. We're in the flow. We're getting this flow of energy in our bodies. We're getting this flow of energy throughout the world. And things keep evolving and changing. And that's the very nature of reality. And it doesn't really matter, though, if we understand it all. We're not going to understand everything that's happening inside of ourselves, inside of our lives, inside of the world. We're not here to understand it all and try to figure it all out. The little mind of our mind wants to figure it all out. The small self wants to know everything in order to be safe, in order to have a handle on it. But that's just not how it works. That's just not how life works. We don't have a handle on life. Life just flows through us. Life emerged through us. It appeared on this planet and it just started evolving and changing and bumping into other things, just like the original atoms after they exploded after the Big Bang, and they just started bumping into each other and forming things and creating. And that's what we do as human beings too. We are creators. We are designers. We are already creating our lives. We are already designing our inner experiences and our outer world. The question is, what are you creating? And are you creating how you want to be creating? Are you creating a life of joy, of love, of passion and aliveness? Or are you creating a life of fear and pain and depression and anger and sadness and despair? And it's okay, whatever you're creating. This is not about judging the creation, the co-creation that you are living in your life. It's not about judging or shaming or blaming or making anything wrong or bad. It's just about recognizing, acknowledging the truth of what you are co creating with the universe, what your experience is, what you're feeling in this moment, and just feeling it all. Start with the truth, start with authenticity, because that is reality. And the cool thing about reality is when we accept reality fully, we do not suffer. When we accept reality fully, we do not suffer. So reality is not the cause of our suffering. So if we want to be free from stress, be free from suffering, we can start with just acknowledging the truth of what we're thinking, what we're feeling, our emotions, our body sensations, our thoughts, and just acknowledge this is what's happening right here, right now. And that's what we can know for sure. Memory might be a little off. Prediction about the future, most likely going to be a little bit off. But what we're experiencing right here, right now, what you're experiencing right here, right now, as you listen to me speak, you can know that for sure. This is reality. You can know your own experience. That's why it's gaslighting when someone says, no, you're not experiencing that. You're not feeling that. That's not how it is for you in your subjective reality. That is so painful when we believe that because we can start to doubt the very thing that we actually do know for sure that builds everything else that we can know, the reality of our subjective experience in this moment. And then, of course, there's more than that. We don't create our own reality in the sense of creating all of the atoms in the universe by thinking, I want it to be different than it is. But we do create our own reality in the sense of our own belief systems, our own paradigms, our own filters that pick out some things and delete other things from our environment, both very physically in terms of our senses, like our eyes only seeing the visible, human visible wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum, and our ears only hearing certain frequencies, and that reducing over time as we age and we get some hearing loss. And then, not only physically, but also in other ways. If we're paying attention to what's good in life, we get more of that in our experience. We start to notice more good things. So if we spend time in gratitude for what we have, we spend time taking in what went well today. If we spend time thinking about what we love about another person or what we love about our lives or what we love about the world or what we love about reality, we start to notice more and more of those things. And as we notice more of those things, we can start to take action on more of those things, which creates a positive feedback loop. It's not necessarily magic. It's not my thought waves go out and change the universe, but it is magical. It feels magical when we get into these self-fulfilling positive prophecies, positive self-fulfilling prophecies, and we start to believe that something is possible. We start to see opportunities, we start to act on those opportunities, and then we start to grow and learn and make progress in those ways. That creates something meaningful, powerful, and wonderful. Because the fact is, we're already operating from negative self-fulfilling prophecies all the time. If you believe you cannot do something, then you either will not try at all or you'll try kind of half-heartedly and say, see, look, it didn't work. No need to try anymore. No need to put any extra effort into that. No need to really invest the time and energy and money to get good at that thing because it's not really possible anyway. Whereas when we think and believe and we can see it in our minds so clearly, we have a clear vision of what's possible, and we go, yes, I know I can improve. I know I can reach that goal. I know it's possible for me to achieve that. We start to notice opportunities. We start to ask better questions. How can I make progress there? How can I learn these things I need to learn in order to get there? How can I develop the skills, the money, the talent, the network connections, whatever it is, in order to reach that goal? And we create this positive, self-fulfilling prophecy. And that positive self-fulfilling prophecy starts to draw us forward. So we feel carried by it. It doesn't even require energy. It feels joyful. It feels like we're in love. We're devoted to this cause. We're devoted to this goal, this outcome, this area of life, this business, this relationship, whatever it is. So it's no longer about forcing, using pain, fear to motivate ourselves. The motivation is natural, it's sustainable, it's organic, it's renewable. It's like solar power versus coal. It's like nuclear fusion versus burning wood, burning the forest down to get energy. It's so much more renewable and generative when we're motivating our lives in a soulful way from love, from joy, from what we're drawn towards because we can see the possibilities and they light us up and they inspire. Inspire, spirit within. We feel this spirited expression. We feel this soulful calling and we're lit up by that. And we want to do it. It's from want. It's not I have to do this. I want to do this. I get to do this. And it's not about faking it either. It's not about just changing the words you say. It's not about pretending or acting. It's about being that, being in the flow. And that's actually how reality works too, because everything's always changing, which means there is nothing stuck in reality. There is nothing stuck in a pattern where it cannot change because everything's always changing. So when you're in the flow, when you're inspired, when you can see the possibilities, you are in alignment with reality. And when you feel stuck, it's okay. That is your real experience in that moment. It's not going to do you any good to deny that, to turn it into, oh, it's not happening. Right. I'm creating my own reality. I'm ignoring the feeling of being stuck. No, the feeling of being stuck, if you're feeling that, then feel it fully. Drop the story, feel it fully. Feel your way to the other side of it. And then it starts to melt. It starts to open. You start to see beyond that stuckness in that little loop. There's more than that loop, or inside the box. There's more outside the box. And when you start to feel that, you notice all the possibilities again. You start to get into awe and wonder and inspiration and back into the flow. And you're back into alignment with reality. You're seeing clearly again. You were in the fog and now you're seeing clearly again because you're in that flow of energy and inspiration. Just like I started this talk. I had no idea what I was going to say. I had no idea what topic I was going to talk about. I had no idea what words were going to come out of my mouth. And I still don't know what's going to happen next because I'm on the edge of my own understanding. I'm on the edge of my own expression and just playing with that and just exploring what emerges and seeing whether it's any good or not. And I don't know. I'm not even evaluating what I'm saying as I'm saying it. I'm not trying to be critical of it. I'm not caught up in the stuckness of good and bad and this and that. And I need this and I don't have that. And I can't have this and I must have that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in the flow. That's how we get stuck. We get stuck because of the have tos, because of the shoulds, because of the musts, because of the can'ts, because of the should. I should, I coulda, woulda, musta, but I didn't. That's how we get stuck. That's the very structure of stuckness, is those modes of operating, the modal operators of necessity and impossibility. But when we switch into modes of choice, of don't have to, I don't have to do that. I want to do it. I get to do it. I choose to do it. And modes of possibility. I can do that. I could do this. I could do that. There's so many possibilities, and I'm just inspired by all the options. It's just a mode, it's just a mood. And there's things we can do to change that. We're always capable of getting unstuck and back into the flow because that's how reality works. It's just a matter of accepting reality. And accepting reality does not mean static, stuckness, passivity. It doesn't mean, oh, well, this is just how it is. It is how it is. Well, right now, it is that way, but things are always changing. And how reality is in the flow and always changing and full of possibilities. So accepting reality is not simply accepting what is right now. Things are the way they are. It's also accepting that things are always changing, evolving, and we have a role in that. We have the power to direct things, to steer the boat down the river. We don't just have to let it crash into the rocks. We can steer. And that can be easy. That can be gentle. That's not forcing. That's not going upstream. That's going with the flow, but steering through life and finding that flow and that joy and that flow state and that free expression and that aliveness that pulls you forward because you love what you're doing and you enjoy it and it lights you up and it turns you on and it makes you come alive. And if you've ever experienced that, even for a moment, you can experience it again. If you've never experienced it, you can still experience it because that's your birthright. Every baby comes into this world fully expressive, fully alive in the present moment. And it takes time to train kids out of running around, playing, expressing, doing imagination games, singing and dancing and being joyful and expressing all of their emotions completely authentically. It takes rigorous training and discipline to train out the soul from the human being. So it's actually more natural to be in the flow. And we can always regain this. We can always practice gaining, regaining, reconnecting with this natural way of being that's in the flow, that's expressive, that's alive. And it's actually easier because it's just a matter of letting go of all the bullshit, all the cruft, all the forcing us into a box that never really fit anyway. When we were told to sit still, to shut up, and to pay attention. Sit still, shut up, pay attention, sit still, shut up, pay attention over and over and over until we forgot how to move and be moved, how to express ourselves authentically, and how to allow our mind to wander creatively to new possibilities. It's also okay to sit still, to be quiet, and to pay attention, to meditate, to focus. But that's not the whole picture. That's just half of it. The other half is being bigger, being more expressive, more alive, more fully in the flow of where the current of life energy is trying to take you, wants to take you. The current moment is flowing in a particular direction, and that flow can change moment to moment. So when you're here now, it's not static. When you're accepting the reality of your experience now, that's not a passive activity. That's about being in the current moment, being in the current of the river, flowing through life and responding to every moment as it arises. We can also plan, we can also execute on plans. Not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying when you are in the flow of life, in the river, you're more in reality, in alignment with reality, with the truth of reality. And when you accept reality fully, you do not suffer. You do not feel stress. So if you're feeling stress, if you're suffering, stress is a signal. Suffering is a signal. It's saying, please, won't you come back into reality? Please, won't you accept the reality as it is, including the reality of your choice and your power and all the possibilities available to you as things change constantly, moment to moment, and you can steer and guide them towards love. Thank you.